This is how
Yeah,
rich people do it. Yeah.
that is, yeah, you're right. That's how rich people do it. They do it with real estate. They do it with the cash that they have in their bank. It's the same concept. And like you said, if a concept like that is working or a business model like that is working, the crypto environment did a really good job at, some of these companies like one that we researched in the past and talk about on here is Aave. That's a big one. And I know there's other companies out there that do it, but yeah, it's a great business model for not only them to make money, but also for you to make money in other different ways. And I think, speaking about like Aave and things like that, these are financial institutions that are being built. These are not just crypto coins, and that's another, leverage that you could use is using that these are financial institutions backed by a real asset now, and they're giving you ways to make money on your money. And a lot of people don't know that these exist. They think they're just coins on the internet, but no, these are real companies, real DeFi, decentralized finance companies that are building products that are going to, make people money. So not only do your research into like what these coins are. So if you go on, major exchanges like Coinbase or Binance and you see these coins, you might not know exactly what they are or what they do, but there's actually a story to all of these major coins. And even the, just the meme coins have meaning now at this point, the boys club per se. So there is actually real value and real meaning to these businesses because they are businesses, majority of them. You can think of XRP. I think XRP has great potential as well, and Aave coin, and there's so many that you could talk about. But the real store of value, I think, is what you're talking about is in getting that percentage on your money, like just sitting it there, just staking it and getting that money. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's, I think Bitcoin's what closer to 5 or 6% or something like that. But still, it's a store of value, and it's a great place to put your money if you know you're not going to spend it.
Exactly. And so, yeah, and people want to make money and have financial freedom, but they're unwilling, like you said, to educate themselves on how to make money or how money works. That's all that we obsess over 24/7, 7 days a week is how does money work? How do people make money? What more can I learn about money? That's all I've done for the past 4 years, whether it was building the insurance business, whether it was the Taylor's Code with you, it doesn't matter what it was. But throughout that entire process, it's, well, how do we make money? How does money work? Where does it come from? And so when you learn these things, now you can actually understand, okay, what are these people who are generating billions of dollars for themselves, these wealth fund managers, these billionaires, what are they doing, right? You were talking about, I'll give you another example of something that billionaires do. We were just talking about collateralizing your own assets to then take out loans and use that money to spend it. That's what all these billionaires do with their stock, right? Elon Musk doesn't actually sell his stock to go spend his money, right? He goes to a bank and uses his stock as collateral, just what we were talking about, and says, hey, I have $100 billion of Tesla stock. Go ahead and give me a loan for $2 billion in my collateral or my stocks. Okay, here you go, Mr. Musk. Boom, sign him a check. They send him the $2 billion. Guess what? Because that $2 billion is a loan, he doesn't pay what on it?
Tax.
He doesn't pay tax. So,
And
yeah, go
and
ahead.
that's a big argument by people is saying, "Oh, these billionaires, they don't pay tax, this and that." It's like, yeah, because they know the system. It's the tax code. And if they don't sell their stock, they don't pay capital gains tax because they're not selling their asset. They're taking a loan out, which is actually tax deductible. So they get to they get to pay less taxes because they understand the tax system is that they're paying interest on a loan. Say if they take out, that $2 billion loan that Elon Musk takes out, he pays it off over 10 years per se, and he pays interest on that loan. He could tax deduct that interest from his tax that he's not going to pay. So he might actually make money, from taking the loan out. So yes, that's a whole nother story. And that's a liberal thing that they can't seem to understand that concept about not paying the taxes on the capital gains stock stuff. So, but yeah, but that would be a poor decision if Elon Musk were going to say, "I'm going to sell 2 billion worth of Tesla stock just to get the cash," because he could go get the cash somewhere else with all the collateral he has, like you're saying.
Exactly. Leverage your assets, build up your assets, and then leverage them for more money. So, so that's what I was saying. The point is that You have to know these things. You have to understand how these guys are playing the game instead of crying about it and say, oh, why do these guys not have to pay taxes? Oh, how does he get away with it? How do they make money? It's not that you don't have access to the same opportunity. No, you do. That's the thing. You do have the same tax code. You operate under the same exact tax code as these billionaires. Now, are there things that are set in place that are going to benefit them more than you and just the way they're set up financially? Yes, but that's why you have to fix your financial situation so that you can benefit from the same rules, right? Because if you're somebody like me and Bobby, you assume that you are going to become that wealthy. So if I'm assuming that I'm going to become that wealthy and I can do what they've done, I don't want them to change the rules that are going to benefit me down the road. It's like I'm going to benefit from them at some point. Only the person who is unable to rationalize themselves becoming that successful want the rules to change because they never believe the rules are going to benefit them. So that means you don't believe in yourself to make money. I'm not going to have them change the rules. It's going to help me one day. Don't change the rules. It's helping me right now. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want them to change the rules that are going to benefit me down the road.
Yeah, and actually while you were saying that kind of triggered another thought, kind of the same thing, but in terms of real estate, when I was in commercial real estate accounting, they did the same thing. They would take a loan out for a building, but the loan would be backed by another building that the company owed. So, or it could, I mean, eventually once they showed that the building was turning profit and that it was making money from tenants or whatever, then they would go back to that loan. But they were taking loans out for all these buildings to renovate them, make them nicer, and mostly in New York is where these were. So these skyscraper buildings that were maybe shitholes and they wanted to fix them up, they would take a loan out. The loan is backed by the building itself. But then once the building starts turning a profit, then they're in the green every month. And then once they could show the bank, like, hey, listen, you gave me this loan for $100 million for this building. I'm turning a profit on the building each month. I'm paying you the loan back with interest. The bank's gonna go, okay, here's another loan for another building. Here's another loan for another building. And then that's how they just stack up these commercial real estate portfolios that are massive, and then they pay these buildings off, and now they have a cash generating asset each month.
Bang. See? I didn't know that. But that's it. That's the game, baby. That's the fucking game. That should excite you whenever you're listening to this and saying, oh my shit, what the hell are these guys doing? And figuring that out and then doing it for yourself. Because, yeah, they might be doing it for skyscrapers in New York, but you could do that for a 4-door property that's one of your first purchases and you want to start getting into the real estate business. You want to have tenants, right? Personally, that's not my dream, is to have a bunch of fucking tenants and do real estate that way. But once I have enough money where I can make everything outsource, basically everything to proper property management company, etc., yeah, I'll start getting into real estate. But if that's something somebody wants to do for one of their first businesses and you have to start small, couple rooms, house that you have to live in with your tenants, think about
It's a grind. It's a grind for sure.
It's a grind, right? And that's why I prefer crypto, because I tell people, why park your money in a physical business where you have all this overhead cost and all this opportunity to have loss. Example, some guy that just started with us doing portfolio management. So he pays us every month to manage his crypto portfolio, and we turn him a profit. Originally, what he was going to do with that money that he invested with us was buy trucks, semis, right? And basically rent them out to people to move product, and then he would make a slight profit every single month, and then he would also have the asset of the trucks themselves as well. This was an idea that was presented to him, and the way that I basically rationalized why the crypto play made more sense, I said, listen, the reason I love crypto is it doesn't exist. There's no overhead, there's no storage, there's no people that you have to deal with. It's just simply algorithm. It's simply code. It's just code on a computer. It doesn't take up any space. It doesn't take up any mental real estate outside of the market fluctuating. But that's it. That's why I enjoy it. Is okay, I have a place where I can park my money without having to deal with shit all the time. I don't have to deal with tenants. I don't have to deal with the property deteriorating. I got squatters living in my fucking house. People, whatever. No, it's just coins in a fucking wallet, and then whenever it's worth more, or whenever I generate a yield off of my liquidity pool or off of my DeFi loan, I just cash out the money. That's it, right? So I would much prefer those avenues to generate an income before getting into the physical realm. It just makes more sense to me, and it made more sense for him too. You don't have to deal with all the extra bullshit.
It's funny, that's a good term you use there, the physical realm. And it's something that, and like I've been saying, I told you, Priamo, but I'm doing these business audits where I'm helping people with their business, no matter if that's an e-commerce business or some people have service businesses that I talk to where they have clients for marketing and things like that. But one of the things that came up as I was doing this is the liability that comes with building a physical business in the real world. And the example you gave, trucking, is a perfect example because with trucking, you have to worry about the driver of the truck smashing into something, smashing into a person, hitting something, tire pops, the truck flips over. There's like an unlimited amount of things that could go wrong with a trucking company, right? And that's all liability to the owner of the business. And like you're saying, you know, crypto, you have liability in risk in terms of the downside, but not in terms of the physical thing you're holding, the Bitcoin just like breaking and you can't use it anymore. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
With physical businesses, there's real liability in terms of things breaking, people getting hit by trucks, and then you're in a lawsuit because your driver killed somebody. So there's all these different things.
Exactly.
And so the route that I've been taking with online businesses, stay away from the physical stuff because it's only, and you got to think about shipping stuff. Sometimes you ship it and it doesn't even go to the person, and then you're down a product. And so there's so much things that could go wrong with these physical businesses these days, and you don't really have to. You could build a website, a landing page, where you are providing value to someone. They could be anywhere they want, and they're going to pay you for that value. And like you're saying, it's a fugazi. You're just on a web page up in the cloud somewhere. It's not a real physical product that's going to get damaged, lost, stolen in transit to the customer. You could provide a value to people, and that's what a business is, right? Like, let's just break it down. What is a business, and how do people get rich from businesses? Well, it's providing value or a service to somebody or to customers, right? So the businesses that are worth the most money provide the most value, provide the most excitement, happiness to customers, right? Amazon, think about it. They provide billions of packages a day across the world. Apple, everybody has an Apple iPhone, makes them happy, makes them do things. You could help them work. So if your business could provide happiness or provide value and things that are useful to customers, you could build a business with anything. It could literally be a web page. It could be you talking to them one-on-one, just like we are right now. So that was an audit, and that's an area that I'm looking for as I'm going through these audits with these people is, okay, listen, you don't need to have all this physical stuff. You know, you see the videos of people with boxes piled up in the room. It's like, settle down a little bit. Let's get the business turning profit first. Then you could order 150
Right.
things from AliExpress and load them up in your house.
That's another great business point that I was teaching this to. Even one of the girls I was talking to, she wanted to build a makeup company, e-commerce makeup company. Classic, right? Girls, they love that shit. Kylie
hot.
Jenner. Yeah, it's hot. Kylie Jenner, look at her, right? Completely understand. Makes sense. You could have a great business that way. But what was the first thing I told her? And she got the same advice from her father. She told me afterwards was, I said, here's the thing, right? Because this is a classic girl brain. Let me buy all the product. Let me make everything look nice. Let me spend all this money. Let me do all the things that don't make me money before I actually launch the business or launch the product. That's a fugaz. And this is also the scam that you see with these online businesses where you go to their website and you pay them $300-$400 for them to set up your LLC. I see these ads now for these companies. So don't fall for that shit. $400 open. You go to the IRS website. You get an EIN number for your business. It is fucking free, and they give it to you instantly. And to set up your LLC, you just go to your whatever state that you are in or whatever state your business is going to be in. You go to that state website. You find where you set up the LLC through. You go to their state website. You literally register your LLC. You register who's the owner, who's the executor, etc. Boom, they give you your LLC. Free. It's all free. Or you could get fucking smoked by one of these websites that'll charge you $400 to do it. Anyways.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay taxes until you make like $5,000 or $6,000. So once you make $5,000 or $6,000, okay, then you should start worrying about that stuff.
Exactly. So it's not even something that should cross your mind is to spend money for this. No. What should cross your mind whenever you want to start a makeup brand or a makeup e-commerce business is, what do I have to do to generate an income? Sell the product first, get people to show up to your website, get people to send you money even before you have the makeup in the first place. Because at least if you have money coming in, then you can figure out everything else afterwards, right? My mindset with business is whatever you need me to do or whatever you ask me to do, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I have a business for that. Yeah, I already have a team that can do that for you. Yep, I'll be able to deliver that. Even if I don't have the team yet, even if I've never done that before, I don't care. If you come to me with an opportunity to make money, I'm going to tell you I can get it done. And guess what? I'm going to get it done. Because when you send me the money, I can now use the money to get the business done, right? So perfect example of this is now I'm starting to build a media company. Why? Because I already have guys in-house building out my YouTube channel, building out my shorts. I already have these people hired. Somebody comes to me, he says, all right, hey, I want to be able to do what you're doing. How would I do that? Hey, guess what? I have a team that does that already. I'm just going to go ahead and have them do it for you too now. He pays me. Guess what? The guys get paid. They make their money. We build the business that way. Now it's a media company.
He gets his YouTube channel. He gets his videos. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yep. And then I make the money on top through arbitrage, right? Mm-hmm. This is how you make money. So I never turn down an opportunity to make money, ever. But you always got to get the money to come in first. Get the money to come in first, then you figure it out, right? You should never turn down an opportunity to make money, and don't spend money before you make the money. So, but yeah, the point that I was making to this girl was don't buy the fucking makeup. Don't do all this. No. Set up the website, run the ads or post on your Instagram. Do whatever it is you got to do to generate some sales. Get some people to fucking buy the product. Once you buy the product, then you go to AliExpress or whatever website you want and you fucking source the makeup. You get it set out to the customer. Everybody's happy. But find out if the business makes money first.
Yeah, it's a huge thing in testing and seeing if there's demand for your service, which, makeup there is, but seeing that you could get customers to come into you before you sell, like a pre-sale, we'll call it, like have a pre-sale, say, hey, we're going live on July 1st. That gives you 2 months, but get your pre-sales in now, get the website up. So then when you go live on July 1st, and you have 100 sales ready to go, then you just ship them all out, and you're making real money right there. But give yourself the time, right? And you could launch the pre-sale, but you could say, hey, we're not going to ship these out until July 1st when we officially go live. So then, what's today? May 1st. That gives you 2 full months to get 100 sales in. I mean, so if you're selling a $30 product times 100, that's $3,000 you made before you even went live on your business. So these are little things that we like to teach. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our links in our descriptions to join the Taylor's Code, because this is, you're getting the tip of the iceberg here. It's a great conversation. Me and Pramo haven't caught up in a while, so the ideas are flowing today. But so if you guys are enjoying, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure you guys check out the links to get inside the Taylor's Code if you guys want. These are just some of the ideas we have about how you guys can make business with, or make money with $0 down, and some of the business ideas we have. Mm-hmm.